You do not count. You are my friend.
Of course. Your friend.
If you would simply open your eyes to what is in front of you.
We now know that Bridgerton Season 4 is officially coming out in 2026, at least that's what Netflix is telling us for now. And while that might feel like a faraway date, there's finally been some movement. Netflix just confirmed that filming for Season 4 has officially wrapped. That's definitely the good news fans have been waiting for. But of course, there's a catch. The wait isn't over yet, and the gap between seasons is still ridiculously long. Now that filming is done, and assuming it finishes in early July, we can look back at what happened with Season 3 to try and guess when Season 4 might drop. Season 3 wrapped filming back in March 2023, and it didn't hit screens until May 2024. That's about 14 months in post-production. So if Season 4 follows a similar schedule, we're looking at September 2026 for the release. That's a full 2 years and 5 months after Season 3 dropped. Even if we shave off a few months due to strikes or production issues, it's still a really long time to wait. When you break it down, those big gaps are becoming more common, not just with Bridgerton, but across the streaming world. Although fans are used to waiting a year between seasons, these extended timelines are stretching out to over 2 years, sometimes even 3. Showrunner Jess Brownell has already addressed this timeline issue. She explained that each season takes around 8 months to shoot, and then there's editing, dubbing in multiple languages, and a lengthy writing process. She was honest about it. They're aiming to release the show faster, but realistically, they're locked into a 2-year cycle for now. It's just how long the creative process takes, and speeding it up without sacrificing quality is a tough ask. Of course, many other shows go through the same things: filming, editing, translations, writing from source material, so it's not unique to Bridgerton. But the show's scale, lavish visuals, and period details probably make that timeline harder to shorten. At this point, 1.5 to 3 years between seasons seems to be the new normal. Here's where things get interesting. Since Bridgerton is based on a series of 8 books, and with this kind of delay between seasons, we might not see the entire story wrapped up until the mid-2030s. That's a long commitment, but with how popular the show is, it seems pretty likely that Netflix will stick it out and bring all 8 books to the screen eventually. Season 4 is set to center on Benedict, the second son in the Bridgerton family. Netflix already released a teaser about the upcoming season, and it sounds like Benedict's storyline is going to have a magical Cinderella-style vibe. He falls for a mysterious woman at a masquerade ball, knowing her only as the Lady in Silver. But this mysterious woman is actually Sophie, a clever and resourceful maid hiding secrets of her own. It's a romantic setup that sounds perfect for Bridgerton's signature blend of scandal and fairy tale drama. One question fans are still asking is whether Netflix will once again split Season 4 into 2 parts like it did with Season 3. A lot of people weren't thrilled with that decision, but Netflix seems to be making a habit of splitting its biggest shows in half. So even though it's a toss-up, it wouldn't be surprising if they did it again. Looking further ahead, Netflix recently confirmed that Bridgerton has been renewed for Seasons 5 and 6. That's great news for longtime fans, and speculation has already begun about which characters will take the spotlight next. After Benedict's turn in Season 4, the show has a chance to get back on track with the original book order. For context, in Julia Quinn's book series, the stories follow each Bridgerton sibling in alphabetical order, starting with Daphne and going all the way down to Hyacinth. The show mostly followed this pattern at first, beginning with Daphne's story, but Season 3 shook things up by focusing on Colin and Penelope instead of Benedict. That change made sense though, because their relationship had been developing in earlier seasons, and Penelope's secret identity as Lady Whistledown added extra tension. But assuming Season 5 sticks to the book order, that means it's finally time for Eloise's love story. She's always been one of the most intriguing characters on the show, smart, witty, and fiercely independent. Eloise constantly challenges the expectations of her time, and even though she's often at odds with her family's traditional ideals, she never loses her voice. Her friendship with Cressida may have been messy, especially after everything with Lady Whistledown, but Eloise is nothing if not loyal. Over the past few seasons, Eloise has gone through a lot of personal growth. Now that she knows the truth about Penelope and Whistledown, she can finally move forward without obsessing over secrets and betrayals. That chapter of her life is closed, and it feels like she's finally in a place where love might actually be possible for her if she finds someone who accepts her just as she is. Season 5 could be the perfect time for that. In the books, the 5th one, To Serve Philip with Love, is all about Eloise. So there's a strong chance the next season will spotlight her journey. At the end of Season 3, Eloise was heading to Scotland with Francesca, her new husband John Sterling, and his cousin Michaela. That time away from London and all the pressures that come with it might give her the breathing room she needs to reflect and reset. One of the emotional threads in Eloise's story is how much she values her independence, but also how lonely it can be to watch all your siblings find love while you're still on your own. If Benedict, her artistic and free-spirited brother, can find a soulmate in Season 4, maybe it opens the door for her to believe in the possibility of love too. That said, there's still a chance Netflix could shake up the book order again. Season 3 gave a lot of attention to Francesca's story, showing her fall for and marry the gentle John Sterling. But fans of the book know that John isn't her final love, he's her first. Michaela, introduced as John's cousin, though originally a male character named Michael in the books, is set to play a major role in Francesca's future. That surprise twist might be a sign that Netflix is gearing up to tell the rest of Francesca's arc in Season 5, even if it means pushing Eloise's season further down the line. Right now, the show hasn't done much to set up Eloise's romance. If they stick to her original book storyline, they'll need to spend some serious time building out that narrative to make it convincing. Philip Crane, her book love interest, has already been introduced in the show, but his story has been tied up with Marina Thompson in some pretty tragic ways. If the show plans to bring him back into Eloise's life, it'll need to handle that storyline with a lot of care and nuance. In fact, it might even be better to give her a brand new love interest altogether. And while fans might want Eloise's season sooner rather than later, it could also make perfect sense to save her for Season 6. If Bridgerton ends with Season 6, which is still unclear, having Eloise's love story as the final chapter would be a meaningful way to wrap things up. She's one of the most loved and layered characters in the series, and her tendency to resist romance might make her the perfect person to bring the saga full circle. In the end, it's hard to say exactly what will happen in the next 2 seasons, but Bridgerton continues to prove that it's more than just a romance show. It's a character-driven drama that blends tradition with modernity, and each sibling story adds something new to the overall tapestry. Whether it's Benedict finally stepping into the spotlight or Eloise breaking down her walls, the show still has plenty of heart left to explore. So even though the wait for Season 4 feels long, and it definitely is, the emotional payoffs and beautifully crafted stories are what keep us all coming back. And with the promise of Seasons 5 and 6, it's safe to say that the Bridgerton family still has a lot more drama, love, and surprises ahead. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.